I want to talk about OpenAI's privacy policy updates. I think you're going to find it interesting. Now, the thing about privacy policies and terms of service is a lot of times there's a lot of legalese, there's a lot of, you know, in-depth stuff. A lot of times there'll be like pages and pages of stuff to look through. And I think, in my opinion, I don't know that they really want you looking through all that stuff. They don't really want you trying to decipher what all of it means, you know? They hide a lot of stuff in there that they want, they want it there, but they don't necessarily want you really worrying about it too much. They just want you to agree to it and move on. That's what they want, you know? But, I know I've been critical of AI, quite a bit, but it does have its uses, and one of the uses that I found to be very helpful with AI is examining privacy policies, examining updates to privacy policies, examining terms of services, examining updates to terms of services. Present this to me in layman's terms. What has happened here? What has changed? Right? And you can have a discussion with the AI about that stuff. And a lot of times it can break these things down for you. And we're going to do that with OpenAI right now. So I got an email from OpenAI and it says, updates to OpenAI's privacy policy. All right. I'll read the email to you guys and then we'll take it to Gemini and I'll tell you what Gemini is telling me about their update policy. Right. And we'll figure this out together. Okay. So you ask me any questions you want to ask me in the comment section. I'm Cam from Epic Conversions. If you like this live stream, if you're interested in what I have to say, and if I've given you some tips that you think might be helpful, just get over to epicconversions.com, subscribe to my email list. I give information out by email. Also, you can subscribe to my Substack. If you're watching this on Substack Live, feel free to subscribe to my Substack. Get your free video course. It's called the 14-day Easy Start Membership Workshop. Okay. Pretty cool video training there. And I think you'll like it. You get it for free just for subscribing to my Substack. So pretty cool. But anyways, let's talk about OpenAI's update policy. This is what they sent an email to me and they said, "Hey, Cam J, we wanted to let you know that we're updating our privacy policy to give you more information about what data we collect." How nice of them. So nice of them to do that for me. How we use it and how you can control it. Here's what's changing. Finding friends on OpenAI services. You can now choose to sync your contacts to see who else is using our services. This is completely optional. Ads. Ads may appear on free and go plans. Plus, Pro, Enterprise, Business, and Education plans do not have ads. Ads do not influence the answers ChatGPT gives you. That's good, right? It's not like you're going to be asking a question about Napoleon or something, and all of a sudden, right in the middle of an answer about Napoleon's dynasty, they're going to get an ad for Tide or something. That's good. It's not going to throw that in. Did you know that Napoleon used Tide to keep his clothes smelling clean? You're not going to get anything like that, supposedly. Ads do not influence answers ChatGPT gives you. All right. When you see an ad, they're always clearly labeled as sponsored and visually separated from the organic answer. You'll get relevant and personalized ads using information that stays only on ChatGPT, such as ads you've interacted with or context for your chats. You can manage personalization anytime in settings. So you'll get relevant and personalized ads using information that stays on ChatGPT, such as ads you've interacted with. Okay. So your personal details and conversations with ChatGPT are private and are not shared with advertisers. Advertisers do not have access to your chats, chat history, memories, or personal details. Advertisers only receive overall information about how their ads perform, such as total views or clicks. What we've clarified: age prediction and safeguards for teens. We use age prediction across our services to help provide safer, more age-appropriate experiences for teens. New tools and features. We've added details about Atlas, Sora 2, parental controls for teen accounts, and other features. More transparency around data. We explain how long we keep data, your controls, and the legal basis we rely on when processing your personal data. You can review and manage your data preferences anytime in your account settings. Learn more about our privacy controls and how we protect your data. Thanks, the OpenAI team. Okay, cool. Now, there are links in this email, so you can go in and you can look at the long form of these privacy policy changes in far more detail than this simple little, 200, 300 word email they sent me. This is just kind of glazing over it, right? But I took this 200 or 300 word glazed over email and I fed it into Gemini, Google Gemini, and I said, what do you think of this privacy policy update, right? And then I cut and pasted it. I copy and pasted the privacy policy update into Gemini, and this is what Gemini told me. This update marks a significant shift for OpenAI, signaling its transition from a pure research subscription model to a more traditional freemium tech ecosystem. It's a mix of helpful transparency and the inevitable trade-off that comes with scaling a global platform. Here's the breakdown of what's actually happening behind the corporate speak. The big change, ads are arriving. This is the most impactful part of the update. OpenAI is following the path of Spotify and Netflix by introducing a tiered experience. The price of free, if you aren't paying for subscription, your payment is now your attention. You're paying attention, basically. They're showing you ads, right? Contextual targeting. They mention ads are based on context from your chats. While they clarify that advertisers don't see your history, OpenAI's internal systems will analyze your prompts to decide which ads to show you. Integrity check. The claim that ads won't influence answers is crucial. If ChatGPT starts recommending a specific brand of shoes because that brand paid for an ad, the tool loses its utility. Keeping those visually separated is a promise to maintain AI objectivity. All right, that's one. Social features, contact syncing. By asking to sync your contacts, OpenAI is trying to build a network effect. The goal, they want ChatGPT to be a place where you interact with humans, not just an LLM. Privacy note. This is completely optional, but once you sync, you're giving them a map of your social circle. If you value privacy, it's usually best to keep this toggled off. 3, safety and age prediction. The mention of age prediction is a sophisticated way of saying they are using AI to guess how old you are based on how you type and what you ask. The reason? Regulatory pressure. Like the UK's age-appropriate design code is forcing tech companies to prove they aren't exposing minors to harmful content. Reality. It means your writing style is being analyzed for maturity markers to determine what safeguards to slap on your account. 4, new product reveals. The mention of Atlas and Sora 2 is a blink and you'll miss it reveal of their upcoming roadmap. Sora 2 suggests their video generation is getting a major version jump. Atlas, this likely refers to their rumored search engine or advanced world mapping reasoning capability. And then Gemini goes on to give us a verdict, right? And the verdict is this. They got pros and cons. The pros, transparency, clear info on data retention and legal basis. Safety, better protections for younger users. Clarity, distinct lines between paid, private ad-free, and then free tiers. Okay? Those are the pros. The cons, data mining. Your chats are now officially ad signals for free users. Privacy erosion. Contact syncing is a classic data harvesting move. They're trying to harvest the data of your social circles. Creep factor. age prediction means more background profiling. Okay. So those are the pros and cons that Gemini gives us on this privacy update. And then Gemini has a take. Here's Gemini's take on this privacy policy update. If you are a Plus Pro user, this changes very little for you. You're paying to stay the customer. If you are a free user, you are now effectively the product. It's a fair trade for access to a world-class AI, but it means you should be more mindful of the personal info you feed into the chat. So that's Gemini's take on the privacy policy update from OpenAI. Now, look, I only fed the 300-word email into Gemini here, and it kind of made me think about some of the things a little bit more detailed than I would have. It was only a 300-word email. It's pretty deceptively simple. So, like, Gemini giving me this really detailed breakdown of what all that stuff means, pretty cool. And then, like, you think, well, okay, this is interesting. Why don't I take the whole privacy policy now, all like however many pages it is? I'll tell you how many pages the privacy policy is. Pretty big. Yeah, pretty good sized policy here. I will just out for curiosity, I'll give you how big the actual privacy policy is. Just general, right? I'll paste the whole privacy policy into a Google Doc, and we'll do a simple word count. This is the big dumb caveman, big dumb animal version of figuring out how long something is. So I see here it's about 12 pages long, and we see the privacy policy is almost 5,000 words. So if I go over to Gemini and say, hey, can you give me a quick, one paragraph, layman's term version of the following privacy policy, and if you think it's fair and not shady, right? And I'll paste the whole 12-page privacy policy into Gemini, and let's see what it says. I'll read to you what it says. This is the whole privacy policy, not just the 300-word email that OpenAI sent me. In layman's terms, OpenAI updated policy boils down to this. They collect almost everything you give them: your name, payment info, contacts, if you sync them, and the actual text or files you type into the chat, or run the service and train their AI, to run the service and train their AI. If you are a free user, they will now use the vibe or context of your chat to show you personalized ads, though they promise not to give your private data directly to advertisers. They also use automated age prediction to guess if you're a teenager to apply safety filters. While they give you toggles to opt out of training or ad personalization, the shady part is the fine print. They can keep your data even after you delete your account if they deem it necessary for security or legal reasons. And they may share your info with affiliates and vendors for a broad range of business purposes. Is it fair or shady? It's a bit of both. It is standard for big tech, but aggressive for a privacy-focused user. The fair points. They are being very upfront about the freemium trade-off. You get world-class AI for free, but in exchange, you see ads. They also provide clear data controls where you can actually turn off the AI training, which many companies make much harder to find. The shady parts. The age prediction and contact syncing are classic data harvesting moves. Guessing your age based on your writing style feels invasive to some, and syncing contacts is a way for them to map out social circles, social networks of people who haven't even signed up for ChatGPT yet. The vague parts. Like most tech policies, the retention section is a bit of a black hole. They say they delete data within 30 days, but then list so many exceptions: fraud, safety, legal, business interests, that they could technically justify keeping certain data much longer than you might expect or want, for no reason. So that was kind of like Gemini giving me a breakdown of ChatGPT's or OpenAI's privacy policy. Um, so I just wanted to kind of like show you guys. I guess I didn't really show you anything. I'm talking you through it. But I just wanted to kind of like show you guys what I find to be a pretty good use for AI. Now look, I could probably, look, AI is, you know, kind of ridiculous sometimes. Like I could put in the privacy policy for Google into Gemini right here, and Gemini would probably give me a similar answer. You know what I mean? I don't think Gemini is going to discriminate. They might. Who knows? I don't know. Um, it'd be funny if I did that, and then Gemini was like, "Oh yeah, this is a much better privacy policy, far more fair, far more fair." It's like that'd be funny, it'd be very biased, But yeah, I don't know. I find this to be a pretty good use for AI. In case you're kind of on the fence with AI, you don't really, like using AI for a lot of stuff. That's kind of how I am. I don't really like using AI for a lot of different things. A lot of what I do in my business, it really requires like human creativity. It really requires me to think outside the box a lot. I don't find AI is super helpful at helping me think outside the box. But there are some uses for AI that are quite helpful. And I think these privacy policy updates, we get these all the time, right? You guys, we see, companies updating their terms of service. We see companies updating their privacy policies all the time. All right. And a lot of times when we get those emails, it's for a tool that we already use regularly. And we're like, oh, yeah, okay, fine. You're updating your terms of service. I guess I'll just have to trust you. And you just like click OK, and then you get back to using your tool, right? Because it's inconvenient to not use it. Well, I get that. Who wants to read 5,000 words on a privacy policy update? You just kind of like trust them and just go with it, right? Well, now AI gives you another option to kind of like get like a breakdown for what is happening with the privacy policy, layman's terms. Man, I ran one of these on Rumble, a couple months ago, and I was like floored at some of the stuff that Rumble, makes you agree to with their privacy policy and their terms of service. It's crazy. So, if you use services like we all use Substack, we're all here on Substack, and you use YouTube and you use all these platforms and tools and stuff, not a bad idea to take their terms of service and their privacy policies and run them through an LLM and have a quick conversation and about what is actually happening. Ask for it to be broken down in layman's terms and just see what's actually happening. Like what are you actually agreeing to when you sign up for this stuff? And if they make a change, what did they actually change? A lot of times they don't just come right out and tell you in plain English, and they definitely don't come out and tell you the disadvantages of their change for you. A lot of times when they make changes, it's not really to help you, it's to help them. A lot of times it might be to hurt you, not necessarily to hurt you, but definitely to take advantage of you, just to help them a little bit more. Happens all the time. And anyways, I just thought I'd share that with you tonight. I thought it was interesting. It's something I was looking into, and yeah, hope that's helpful to you. I'm Cam from Epic Conversions, epicconversions.com. You can sign up for my email list over there, epicconversions.com, or you can subscribe to me right here on Substack and get your free little video walkthrough for membership clubs. It's something I really like to put together as membership clubs, and I help other people do it. Got a 14-day easy start membership roadmap that'll help you get started. It's pretty cool. Just a shameless bribe for signing up for my Substack. I'm looking for subscribers to my Substack. So if you got any value out of this tonight, maybe consider subscribing to my Substack. Now, look, I know that there's like 1 million Substacks out there. And if you hang out on Substack, you're like, oh, dude, I can't subscribe to all these Substacks. Man, if I subscribe to all these Substacks, I'm going to be getting floored with emails. I get it. I would tell you, like, I do these live streams Monday through Friday on Substack. Right now, I probably won't do that forever, but right now I do them Monday through Friday, and I try to have something of value to offer when I do them. I've been doing marketing and business online since 2011, so that's about 15 years of experience. So usually when I do one of these live streams, I I have a lot to say. I mean, I always have something interesting to say, something that I find valuable, um, as it relates to, starting and running online business. So the other thing I would tell you is if you're out there right now, I know a lot of people do like interviews and stuff on Substack. Don't hesitate to reach out to me. If you'd like to interview me, I have no problem doing interviews for people. If you want to interview me, you're curious about, what I do online and you'd like to have me on to do an interview or something, let's do it, man. I'm on Substack right now. I'm trying to grow my Substack. Like I said, I'm still under 100 subscribers on Substack. So, you know, I'm trying to grow this bad boy. So, I'm more than happy to, talk to people and spend a little time on an interview. So feel free to reach out to me on that. Just reach out to me right here on Substack. And, I guess that's about it, man. Have a great weekend. Keep her between the ditches, and I'll see you on Monday. I take the weekends off with these Substack live streams, so I'll see you on Monday. Be good. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you. Peace now.